What up? Welcome back to the Zero Excuses Podcast. This is Kenyon Ziska, your host and founder of this podcast. Thank you for tuning in for the Deacons of Discipline series. This is a twice weekly series where I am bringing you a soundbite or a quote or something motivational, inspirational, etc. from just someone who is a badass of discipline, someone who is well known, someone who I have found inspiration from, and I'm just breaking down some of their thoughts and their mindset on how they instill discipline in their daily lives or how they have found success in their careers. Big shout out to Anne Fantini. Hope I got your last name right, but thank you for the suggestion on the name for this series. We've gone about 2 weeks into this series, and I have had yet to come up with a witty, inspirational name for this. So thanks, Anne, for suggesting and winning the poll. I'll be in touch with you soon. Anyways, before we hop into today's episode featuring Henry Rollins, just want to remind you guys of a couple of resources. Our close Facebook group over at facebook.com/groups/zeroexcuses, and also our blog at kenyonziska.com. And also, don't forget to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you listen to this podcast on. I appreciate it. And also, don't forget to share this with anyone who you think would get tremendous value out of this. So what I'm bringing to you today is a clip from Henry Rollins. If you don't know who Henry Rollins is, he is basically a punk rock icon. He was the front man of the punk rock band from 1980s, Black Flag, went on to form his own band, formed a publishing company, has a spoken word career, etc. If you don't know who he is, you need to look him up. He is just a badass who has been breathing fire and just bringing his A game for the past 30, almost 40 years. Dude is still rocking it out today. Anyways, the clip I'm going to be playing for you, he describes some of the early days of his career, how he was getting his publishing company off the ground, and what you'll hear him talk about is his attitude of he just had to do it. So I'm going to play the clip for you right now. Stay tuned. I'll break down some of his thoughts and some of the things that I've pulled in from his mindset into my own life. So here it is, Henry Rollins.
I was a very headstrong young person, and by 1983 or 4, had started my own publishing company to publish my own books, realizing that no one else will publish me, and I was right about that. And so my first book, I saved my food money from Black Flag, little here, little there, and I saved enough to make a fold and staple book. I couldn't type, so I hand wrote out the things, and I made a dummy that I could offset, print, fold, and staple. And I sold them for $2. Mainly gave them away, but I sold enough, and they blew out. 500 just went. And then I took that money to make another print run of that. And from that money, I made my first paperback. And 33 years later, that's a fully staffed company with books in translation and hardcover editions and the whole 9 yards. But it started with, I'm going to do my thing. I'll be City Lights Jr. without the talent. And I did that at the same time I was doing my first spoken word gigs. And why did I have the gumption and the audacity to start my own book company? Because I come from punk rock. I come from watching Ian MacKaye invent Discord records on his mom's kitchen table. I come from folding and gluing picture sleeves together. Black Flag had their own label. Of course you do it yourself. You want to make a book? Sit down and write it. Then go to the printing place. Where's a printer? Get in the phone book and find a printer. We make records, make some books. You just do it. It's like you don't even think about it, you just do it. And I'm sure that writing is just awful, but I did it. And without even hesitation, I'm making my own book company. Stop me. I dare you. I never thought about it twice. Just because DIY, man. Like, let your voice be heard.
Man, Henry Rollins always brings his A game. I probably can do an entire friggin' series on Henry Rollins, but I've been following him for a long time. I'm a child of the 1990s, grew up on skater punk and that whole scene, and to this day I still listen to a lot of that same music and follow a lot of the same leaders in that genre of music. But anyways, Henry Rollins' motivation for starting his own publishing company was born out of the fact that no one would publish him because he was such a bold personality. But anyways, one of the big things I take out of that sound clip is that Henry Rollins did what he could with what he had at the time. He didn't let the fact that no one would publish him stop him from publishing a book. And it really drove him and really inspired him to get out of his own way and do what he needed to do, no matter what other people thought about it. He did what he had to do to make his vision and his dream a reality. You look at this guy, he's a huge bodybuilder, weightlifter, punk rock icon, and he's sitting there gluing and doing basically arts and crafts stuff. I mean, would you think of someone who's a huge punk rocker sitting there doing arts and crafts stuff? I don't think so, but he did it anyways. So if you have a dream, if you have something that you want to pursue, you shouldn't let what other people think of you get in your way of you doing what you need to do to get your dream off the ground. The second thing that I pulled out of this sound clip is you just got to stop thinking and just start doing. How many of us sit there and we daydream and we think about what we wish we wanted to do or what we hope to do, and we never do anything about it? So, I catch myself doing this all the time, but I just need to execute. I need to stop thinking. I need to start doing the things that are necessary. It took me months to get this very podcast that you're listening to off the ground because I was thinking about it so damn much. So, what I want you guys to get out of this is that it's actually a lot easier for you to start moving in the direction. You just got to start doing. Stop thinking. Take the first step. Buy that microphone to start recording your podcast or whatever it may be. Just do it. And that's what I want to leave you guys with here today. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I've got a huge smile on my face because I am having so much fun doing this series here. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. I'd love to hear some of your suggestions. If there's a Deacon of Discipline that you want to hear me feature on this show that I do every Monday and Friday, I'd love to hear from you. Kenyon.zitska@gmail.com. Hit me up. Hit me up on Facebook. Drop it in the Facebook group. However you need to get it to me, just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. All right, guys. That's what I'll leave you with. Take care.